Nutcharut versus Garry Wilson.
Joined in the commentary box by Rod Lawler. My first question, Rod, have you played Mink?
So I played Mink twice last season on a debut season, Phil, and I played it in this tournament. I won a 3-1 against it in a good match, to be fair, and I also beat it in a round one early on, and I think it was one of the full ranking events, if that's the right way of putting it. I think it might have been not the UK, but so I played her twice. She's a good player, but she's obviously still learning her craft. I don't expect with Garry, I don't expect any frames to be taking 45 minutes, that's for sure. Because I think Garry will be attacking, I think. But she's a very good player, Mink, very good.
There's a Chinese player who's just coming through called Bai Yu Lu, who everyone rates very highly indeed. She made 127 break in the Women's World Championship this year. And in a CBSA qualifier, she put together a break over 140. She came over to play in the British Open, a ranking event, and won that. So I think a star of the future might be in the pipeline. Now then, after the bad miss from Mink, Wilson's in, and I totally agree, Rod. I think he's going to try and make this as attacking and swift as possible.
Yeah, open format, I think, Phil. And he naturally plays that way anyway, doesn't he? Garry scores so heavy. I enjoyed his first match against Ma, so I'm expecting it to be another better performance, really, in terms of his scoring.
And let's not forget what happened yesterday. The top seed in the group, Dave Gilbert, drew his first match 2-2, but he recovered from that setback to go through.
Yeah, well, you're never out the group, are you, when you draw your first match? So that's why that last frame of Garry's first match against Ma was so important to the shape of the group for the rest of the day, possibly. And he got it. He got the win. He made a good 40 break in it. And I think now he'll be looking to kick on in the group.
Garry Wilson, 14.
It wasn't a certainty, but I didn't expect that to be sent wide.
I think also, Phil, as well, is that the tables we're playing on, it's just slightly different from the rest of the season. And there's definitely a little bedding in process for the players to get used to them. They're really nice and fast. So it's just a case of getting used to them, really.
And you'll confirm this, Rod, having played in a group earlier this week. It's so easy to screw the cue ball back. They're so reactive, aren't they, as we saw with that shot?
Yeah, it's like as if the cue ball's on an elastic band type thing. But once the players do get a feel for it, and Garry showed that earlier on in his first match with a good century. The standard of snooker will only get higher as the group winners all start playing each other.
If you can screw back very easily and you're down at the club, you think, is this a light white or maybe even a small one? We've seen those, but not here. That's not the case. It's just the playing conditions being conducive to shot making.
It looks like he's going to have to play some sort of dead weight red here, containing safety. She's done well.
Well, it's really nice to see you, Rod. And it's also really nice to see you, after all these years, still competing. I get the impression you remain in love with the game?
Yeah, so I really enjoyed the competition side of it, and being out in the arena playing on Monday, I really enjoyed it. And I suppose most of the players my age will say the same. They don't enjoy the daily practice and the slog, but the actual competition, how can you ever replace it? Take up another sport when I retire.
Well, that's what they say, don't they? You're a long time retired.
Yeah. I'd come over to the pool, only that's too competitive.
You'd be welcome with open arms.
Oh, I miss.
As the cue ball doesn't reach, and what's more, it's a case of a red being left to middle.
One.
Yeah, I just expect the frames to just be open frames, really, Phil. I think Garry will force that on the match. And it's going to be difficult for Mink to stick with Garry, I think.
Just asking about yourself. I think I know the answer, but what would be the career highlight if you just got to pick one?
Well, it's a hard one, that, really. I'm proud to have played in a final against John Higgins and beat people like Stephen Hendry along the way. He was
6.
arguably the greatest player ever. I don't know, really, Phil. Looking back and qualifying to turn professional, beating a young Joe Swale, that was a massive highlight. He was the English champion. I was the British under-19 champion. That was a highlight. But I suppose winning a ranking tournament, I beat Marco Fu in the final of a PTC event. I still class it as a full ranking event. We played for ranking points, and that was a big victory in my career. So I would say that one, really, Phil.
Wilson played that one with bundles of side and wasn't in the same postcode as the pocket. Now, I thought I knew the answer, and all of those things you mentioned wasn't what I was going to say. It was your run to the latter stages of the German Masters at the Tempodrome.
Yeah, that was an unbelievable experience to play at a full Tempodrome against a younger Judd Trump. I think there was a capacity crowd, 2,500, which I think is the biggest crowd we were playing in front of. I know the Hong Kong tournament now has around about 9,000 people in the live audience. But yeah, that was an amazing week, really enjoyed it. And I just run into a hot Judd Trump, really, who kept on making century breaks against me.
You weren't the first, you won't be the last.
Yeah, no, he's very good, isn't he?
By the way, on the other table, Ricky Walden, who lost his first match 3-1 to Liu Hongyu after winning the first frame, by the way.
8.
Well, he's taken the first frame again, this time against Peng Yisong. But as you can see, Peng at the table with a scoring opportunity early in the second.
With a nice friendly cannon on the blue as well, Phil, so he's got a good chance to go 1-1 against Ricky there.
You were saying how much you love the competition in this season. There's plenty of competition to love.
Yeah, it's good to be back playing a much better sort of amount of tournaments after, obviously, the COVID years, and so we're glad that there's a couple of tournaments back on in China as well, and we just need to keep growing the tour, really, and get the tour back to where it was before, pre-COVID, really. But yeah, there's certainly, it's good to be back, Phil, playing.
And I think looking ahead, you have to believe that Luca Brissol's remarkable triumph in the World Championship will open doors in continental Europe also.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'd hope so. We have been to mainland Europe many times for sort of smaller ranking events, and you know, even if it was that type of start at a small ranking event in, you know, maybe Belgium or mainland Europe, it'd be tremendous, because we have them in Germany as well. So, but no, it was really nice to see Luca perform to the level he did, and the manner in which he won it was, you know, really good to see.
I think in many respects, Luca Brissell and Garry Wilson are quite similar. When they play their best stuff, they can be inspirational. And Wilson, of course, showed that by winning the Scottish Open last season.
Yeah, he's a ranking tournament winner now, Garry, and we were talking about it. I think he's up to number 15 in the rankings, so he'll be looking at this tournament as an important start to the season, trying to get that feeling back, that winning feeling, gathering ranking points, and starting to, I'm sure from his point of view, trying to move up from 15. It's an important tournament, very important. And then for players like Mink, you know, it's important for different reasons, isn't it? You know, so
10.
That's the beauty about this tournament. It means so much to different players, and different players are looking for different things out of it.
11.
The one thing we can say for sure, he will not allow this match to be bogged down.
Seventeen. Eighteen.
I mentioned this when he was in the commentary box with us, Garry, that I think one of his problems over the years has been that he becomes frustrated when things aren't going well or he's not playing well, because he knows just how good he is.
Yeah, he's such a flow player, isn't he? That, you know,
25.
when he's involved in the more dogged finishes to matches and stuff like that, you know, that's obviously players like Garry and Luca and people like that, Judd, you know, but they're still brilliant at that because they've learned to become good at it. So I'm sure Garry's,
31.
you know, dealing with that much better than he's ever done. You're not winning the likes of the Scottish Open unless you really are improving in that department. And you can see, you know, he's, you know, got a great temperament for the game, that's for sure.
Slightly short where he wanted to be on the pink because he hit the last red a little too thick, but position immediately regained.
38.
And the first frames took a flow that we thought it might, Phil, which is an open scoring frame.
$45. $46.
First objective achieved for Wilson, winning the opener. I think he would like to win this match
53.
comfortably, not just for points reasons, but also for confidence reasons going into his last match tonight against Astley.
Yeah, that's going to be a battle of the Newcastle fans, isn't it, Phil? And also two Northeast guys, you know, so that'll be really looking forward to that match.
Yeah, I said that yesterday to him. It's a Northeast battle, but that gives the connotation that one of them is Sunderland, and of course neither of them are.
Yeah, I meant it just as in both Newcastle. Yeah, Geordie battle.
68.
But no, this is a nice finish, a nice flowing frame from Garry here, just the start he was looking for.
70. $73. 77. 82. Garry Wilson.
A break of 82 from Garry Wilson. That means a decent start for the highest ranked player in the group. He leads Mink Nutcharut by 1 frame to 0. On then to frame 4 in this Group 9 of the Bedvictor Championship League.
Frame 4. Garry Wilson to break.
If Garry Wilson wins this frame, he wins the match, and with 4 points at the halfway point of the day, he will move to the top of the table. Now that's more like it. That's the kind of pot we know she's more than capable of. The best shot I think she's played in all 6 frames.
Yeah, it seems that way. She really cued that one. Nice. Unlucky for Mink, the black's a little bit tied up with the red next to it, so the way I see positions like this is you've just got to try and score the best you can from it. Hopefully leaving a friendly angle somewhere to play a cannon.
6.
Might have to go back up for the blue maybe again, or but really, if she can get high on the blue, that's the type of angle she needs to break open the pack. Does she have the red? Is she playing for the pink, or?
Seven.
That was a very precise positional shot to have to play. Presuming the red pot's full, so I think this she really does have to get high on the blue, or maybe even an angle on a bulk colour to get into the reds here.
30.
Yes, with the pink going nearest its own spot at the back of the pack and the black out of commission, the blue is the obvious target.
14.
That's okay, you know, it's a little bit close to the cushion, but she's given herself a really nice angle off the blue. I would advise her to go into the reds here. Play it confidently. Playing for the red at the back, nearest the pink. There isn't enough colours in open play. It looks like she is playing for that red next to the pink, but I don't see how she can score after that. I don't see how she can score after potting this red. That's the problem with that choice. That was a great opportunity to go into the bunch, and maybe that's where she's just lacking a bit of experience, Phil, on the scoring side of things.
And there's one given. To be successful in modern professional snooker, you have to score.
You have to play the... You know, we all do it differently, but you have got to try and be positive, that's for sure. And she's relying on... Mink's relying on leaving herself a perfect angle, and it just doesn't work that way all the time. She's actually cued a nice 20 break here,
20.
but the one shot she had to smash the reds open with So maybe in hindsight, when she looks back on these matches,
Green ball.
she can learn from those type of situations.
Nutcharut. 20.
And at least she's left the table well. That was a telling safety.
That's where I think a lot of the new players on tour and the younger professionals, it's just shot selections at the key times, Phil. You know, they just make the odd wrong decision in a match, and it can sometimes only be one, you know, and you can look back on it, and I think that's where sometimes, you know, the improvements there, the biggest improvement for some of these new players and players who haven't been on the tour long, is just shot selection, and the type of shot at the right time can really make a difference. I know one thing, a younger sort of John Higgins and Ronnie O'Sullivan, that generation, and today's generation, they're right into the pack there. Another inch perfect safety play.
Yeah, two really good safeties from Mink. You always want to play attacking safety if possible. But that was a moment where Wilson quite correctly just thought about one thing alone: containment.
Yeah. And that's the difference with getting the white under the bull cushion. When you really get it tight, it does cut off a lot of escape avenues.
Foul. Miss.
No contact.
4.
Horns of a dilemma, really, Wilson. Yes, a red is on, but needs to be cued very nicely.
And also pink and black are not nice as well, Phil, so there's a bit of value in putting this back, I think.
I think in a situation like that, the only thing you can do is play the percentages.
Yep.
And that's precisely what he did. Yes, he could have got down, knocked the red in, made a big break, but the chances are he might have missed and cost himself the frame. So I think what he's done there, you cannot possibly criticise.
No, you've got to stay in the game, haven't you? If the pink and black were on the spot, Garry would have definitely played for pink or black. That was a fine shot. Very good.
One.
Got a feeling she played that as well, Mink, so this is becoming a critical part of the match for Garry now.
Well, the fact that she did not apologise tells me she definitely did play that as a shot to nothing, because she's very respectful. Etiquette is absolutely spot on.
Yep. Back to this, I think she's playing bull cushion first here, so she will need a really good touch to get a good white behind the brown. I think that's the shot she's choosing to play, so it needs to be played very well, this. I think she's played it well. Good shot. Does the red to right centre go, Phil? And if it does, it'll be a chance for Mink.
Really good camera angle. Just showing you how tight these middle pockets are. If you catch any part of the near jaw, it will be repelled. Same thing with the far jaw. You need to be so accurate.
But she is on the pink if she pots her. Has to be a bit careful. I think the pink may go on the black spot.
Doesn't look as though there's room, actually, does it, Rod?
No, it looks tight on the angle, but I mean, if she just concentrates on the black for now, pink will take care of itself. And
Seven.
there's a chance, Phil.
Yeah, so with its own spot occupied, the pink, and the black not available, it then goes on the highest available spot, which in this instance is the brown.
Eight.
And now the black spot's cleared.
Good ball to get the pink back on the black spot with the reds where they are.
14.
And the twixt in between, I think. And she's definitely got to play this middle red of the three. Still play it confidently. A soft cannon into the next red. Maybe beyond the blue or green. That's the red, yeah. Play it confidently. Gives you the best chance to win the frame. Oh, she played it in the middle. Even.
15.
She's building up a lead though, Phil.
Yeah, she's made no breaks of any consequence at all this afternoon.
Yellow
But
ball.
when she won the third frame against John Astley, it was a case of accumulation of a lead, and that's what she's doing here. And this one is a handy lead now, 34 points.
Nutcharut, 15.
32 points, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and also nudging the yellow nearer the pot, nearer the cushion, which is in her favour as well. So played a lot of good shots in this frame, but that was a good opener by Garry.
1. Garry Wilson. 1.
He's grinding.
Yeah, he's shown a lot of patience, isn't he? Here, and he had, to be fair, he's done that all the way through the match, hasn't he? So, shown Mink a lot of respect, and rightly so. I think you commented earlier, Phil, it doesn't take much to change the flow of the match, does it? And that's what we've sort of seen here. Some really tough frames and some good scoring frames. But Mink's about 30 odd ahead at the moment. She can't really afford to give any fouls away, because her lead will be sort of cut short quickly. So it's really in her interest if she can hit a red right away. The 30 lead counts for something at the moment.
If Wilson does lose this frame and it's a draw, he could still top the group with 5 points, but he would need to beat John Astley, and then a whole range of results would need to go in his favour. Now, has that shot gone in his favour? He thinks it has. But not that one.
With Mink not giving any foul fours away, she's still in a good position points-wise, so it literally is a case of, can she pot a number of open reds now? For what would be a very, very good draw.
John Astley and Ma Hai Long would be appreciative.
Yep, that's it. And I expect Mink will be a little bit nervous here, you know. Getting a draw against one of the world's top 16 players is a very good achievement, so she'll be feeling a bit nervous on this visit.
But her performance in this match has been a marked improvement on the previous match. So she's growing in confidence.
Nine.
She's got a very quiet demeanour and she's got a very good touch, hasn't she, Phil? So she really is asking a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Still think the pink is the shot to play.
Five.
Always tricky when the cue ball and object ball are close together.
Very slow.
Oh, the pink just topples in. Well done. So, 2 tables, and right now, 2 different sessions. Table 2 starts the evening session.
15.
We're still wrapping up the afternoon session on table 1. There will be no break in play, though, after this. It will be just the normal 5 minutes, and then match 4 of the day will get underway. John Astley against Ma Hai Long.
Nutcharut, 15.
This is a very good effort. And she's played a very quiet couple of frames, but very good frames. Puts Garry in a real problem here.
This is the 8th frame that Mink has played this afternoon, and in terms of the standard, both potting and safety, it's been her best.
Yep. Oh, great shot. Looks like maybe a positional shot on maybe the brown or the green blue, maybe. Big shot this.
One.
Who's next? 47 the difference, 51 on. Wilson in a fiendish snooker.
One.
Yeah, he's had to get out of some snookers in this frame. And for the best part he has, but Mink's played a very good frame. Want to be careful if she's playing a safety shot up towards the yellow that she doesn't develop the yellow into a better position. That was nicely done.
And so was that when a red's on a cushion in that manner. So easy to catch them too thick and botch the shot.
He's really asked Mink a question now. I think she's committing herself to the long red, maybe. Certainly looks that way. Yep.
One.
Very good.
And that was frame ball. Superb. What a cracking pot. Given the scoreboard. Not so good.
One.
Wilson with 43 on the table needs a couple of snookers.
One.
Well, if the second frame's anything to go by, we could be hearing a while watching Garry battle on here. There's definitely the frame still live. It's an important black that for Mink there. You know, if she just gets used to potting those last few balls when she's won a frame and tying a match, it'll make her job much easier, and I'm sure she'll be learning that as her career progresses. When you've won the frame, it's important to pot a few more balls and shut down the frame for good, especially against the top players.
Yeah, we always talk about frame ball, but really it's frame ball plus at least 2, maybe if you're playing Mark Selby, plus at least 4.
Yeah, exactly. The higher you go, the more important they become. You're not supposed to be under pressure after you've won the frame, but sometimes you are, Phil, especially against the top guys.
Well, because you think, psychologically, I've won the frame, if I lose it now, I won't forgive myself.
Yep.
That's what creates the pressure, isn't it?
Yeah. And these guys are so good, they just keep on asking you questions and putting you in snookers, so it'll be something that Mink will learn as a career progresses.
And I would not write Garry Wilson off in this frame at all. In the second frame, though, as Wilson tried to gain the penalty points he needed, Mink retained plenty of poise and patience. And there's no indication she won't do the same thing here. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Well done. What a cracking pot that was. Beautifully cued.
Yeah, she trusted the technique, and her technique stood up to the pressure there. She didn't move an inch. And even though she's won the frame in, well, probably won the frame in a number of visits, she really hasn't played a bad shot for what feels like the whole frame. She's played a very good frame, Mink. Great result.
Still, though, Wilson battles away. 42 behind, 27 on. 4 snookers required.
I think you can slightly see the inexperience in Mink, because when she potted the red, she was looking over towards Garry, you know, as if, is that enough? And that certainly seems like she's getting there now. That was another good shot, so good credit to Mink. You've played very well here.
Yeah, it's 5 snookers now.
Nutcharut, 2.
Well, I think, Phil, Mink's been playing the game since she was about 10 years old. So there couldn't have been many better achievements in her career than sort of playing a current top 16 player and playing as well as this.
Yes, with all the added pressure of being on television. She's a much better break builder than she's shown this afternoon.
And we know that the whole of Thailand will be supporting her and cheering her on. So she's never short of support.
3.
That's right, and I'm really pleased what she's done here because she's fought hard.
Nutcharut.
And surely she's got the point. The question is, how many balls does she have to pot before Wilson gets the point?
It does feel like one or too many snookers now are needed, but you know, Garry's entitled to keep going, but it looks like it's going to be a draw, this one.
Yeah, I'll just do the maths anyway. It's 47 points the difference, 22 on. So 7 snookers.
Four.
Surely now. Come on, Garry.
Well, I can understand that letting Mink finish the break and out of respect, but surely now's the time to shake her hand if Mink doesn't clear the board. Well done, Mink.
Yes, well done indeed. I would concur with that. A point for Mink Nutcharut, a former Women's World Snooker Champion, now playing in her 2nd season on the World Ranking Event Tour. She's drawn 2-2 with Garry Wilson, whose chances of winning the group now as the top seed have been severely diminished. Next up, in 5 minutes' time...
Thanks for watching. Like, share and subscribe.